Welcome back to the channel, Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at this week's official prices. If you're new to the channel, make sure to like and subscribe for daily reactions, reviews, and news, painting, modeling, conversion tutorials for Warhammer 40,000, Kill Team, Necromunda, Age of Sigmar, Warcry, some Horus Heresy, pretty much all the Games Workshop games. Alright, so the big release this week is obviously the Cadian or Astra Militarum box set right here. So really nice looking box set. And if we just scroll down here to the list, included in this set, 28 completely new miniatures, 20 Cadian shock troops, 5-man Cadian command squad, Sentinel with armored and scout Sentinel configurations, and 2 field ordnance teams. So really nice looking set right here. All brand new models, and then obviously includes the new Codex as well as the data cards. Really nice setup right here. I think this is going to be a big seller. I don't think anyone's going to have an issue getting their hands on it, but it does have a 2-week pre-order period. So it does have the 2 weeks for pre-orders before anything is shipping out. So we still have some time before this actually comes out. But the actual release date on this is November 25th, 2022. So Black Friday, if I'm not mistaken. And the official price on this set here is $200 USD. So right along with what we would expect for the Army box sets. At $200, I think it's a nice setup. We went through, we did the breakdown. We don't know the exact prices on the individual units because they're not out yet. But we have broken it down to essentially over $300 worth of value. Somewhere between like a 30 and 40% discount. So a nice box set right here. Early access to the miniatures, early access to the Codex and cards, all that good stuff. And then for our Canadian friends out there up north, it is 240 Canadian dollars for this set as well. So really nice set. I did go ahead and pre-order one myself. And then if we just scroll down here next, we've got the Goff Rocker, equally cool, maybe not quite as exciting, but the Goff Rocker, super cool model. Obviously a Christmas promotional item, just the single guy right here with this little squig amp. And the Goff Rocker is 35 bucks, right with what we would expect for a typical Games Workshop like 40k character, 35 USD or $41.50 Canadian. So cool model right there. I'm going to be passing on this one, but only just because I don't need extra random models to paint. And while he is cool, he would just end up in a pile of shame somewhere, in my opinion. So, and then we have the White Dwarf 482. So White Dwarf, 11 bucks a issue right here. Interesting to see that we do have a new Necrons Army of Renown in this. So that is very interesting, as Necron's already performing quite well. I can't imagine what's in that Army of Renown, but I mean, if it's better than what's already out there for the Necrons, I think everyone's in trouble. So it also has exclusive warcry dashboard, kit bashing Darktide models, and painting the leagues of Votan. So cool little stuff in there. And then on to the Black Library. So we have the Cadian Blood Special Edition. This one, Black Library, I don't have the pricing on this guy, but 2,000 copies. So we know this is going to go quick. If you do want a copy of this, I would not hesitate, as they tend to be sold out relatively fast, and then the markup gets pretty ridiculous. Next we have Gaunt's Ghost, The Victory Part 2. So for Gaunt's Ghost is a paperback novel. It is 18 USD or 20 Canadian for Gaunt's Ghost. And then we have the Krieg paperback. So Krieg paperback novel is 16 USD or 17 Canadian. And just keep scrolling down here. Next we have the Witchbringer. Witchbringer paperback novel, once again 16 USD or 17 Canadian. And finally we have Gobbo's Demise. So maybe the final adventure of the Red Gobbo? Probably not. But Gobbo's Demise hardback novel, $9.99 for this or $11.99 Canadian. I'm interested how big this is. I mean, it seems relatively cheap, 10 bucks for this. It looks like it's fairly chunky. So interesting nonetheless, about half the price of most of their regular books. And it is a hardback, so. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the releases this week. There is some other random stuff down there. a flood of random black library stuff. But the truth is, I mean, this week, it's all about one thing and one thing only. Well, technically for the next 2 weeks. It's all about the Cadian Army Box. And I know I personally am super excited after having seen some of the rules revealed or leaked or shared, whatever you want to call them. However you got your sources. We've seen some officially revealed by Games Workshop, and that's what I'm talking about. Looks pretty cool overall. Looks like you got some cool little rules. Doesn't look like they're ridiculously overpowered or anything like that. Like, I was happy to see the stats on like the Ordinance pieces. To tell you the truth, I didn't know what exactly was going on with this thing, but the stats on that are completely opposite of what I thought it would be. It's basically like a D6 plus 6 shots. Decent strength, but AP -1. This one, I think, is going to be the best one right here because it has indirect fire, and I think that's crucial for these artillery pieces. Now, obviously, Astra Militarum already has quite a few tanks with indirect fire and other options as well, like mortars and stuff like that. But I think something like this is going to be potentially strong. Astra Militarum, ignoring the penalties everybody else suffers for indirect fire, are going to make it to where they can legitimately be an indirect fire threat. And a lot of people, the meta currently, a lot of people are building their army where, they're counting on, weak to mediocre, like infantry type units being able to just hide out of sight and control objectives. And, if you have a strong front line and guard is just picking apart your back line and tearing you to pieces, it's not going to be a fun day for you. So I think the indirect fire from guard is going to be a real threat and a real meta changer. Definitely excited to see these. Sentinels look really cool. I think they'll probably have some decent rules in the army and everything. I'm not sure they're going to be like game changers, but always an integral part of the guard. Really, really like the overall troops here. I mean, the quality of all these new miniatures and the fact that we have a new army box with all new miniatures, I mean, absolutely stunning. You expect that for Votan with a new faction, but for the Cadians to get that as well, absolutely stunning. These models look great compared to the old guard models. They look absolutely phenomenal. They are substantially bigger, so again, we are seeing some of that size creep on the actual models, but I'm okay with that. As long as the models keep getting bigger at the same pace as I get older, I'm fine. I just don't want them to get more difficult to paint. So if they ever start going smaller again, I'm going to have to pass on that. But really nice looking models right here. Definitely loving the command squad. The Kasserkins look great as well. Pretty much everything so far that we have seen for the guard is absolutely stunning. I'm really looking forward to how they play. I'm really looking forward to how they shift the meta and what comes afterwards. But man, this is just an absolutely stunning release. Definitely really excited too. It's the final Codex, so now we can start paying attention. Obviously, World Eaters potentially coming down the line or are coming down the line, but now we can start looking at the potential for 10th edition, possibly revisiting the Space Marine codexes and what's really to come. But as long as we always had, one or two more codexes on the horizon, it never really set in that we could be seeing the completion or the end game for 9th edition and 10th edition potentially rolling out. So super exciting. Obviously really excited to see what factions would be in a potential 10th edition starter set and what is to come. I still think we've got a little ways to go here, but it's probably not as far off as you'd think. Regardless of whether or not you think 9th edition still has some legs or 10th is right around the corner, I think realistically we know that we're closer to the end of 9th edition than we are to the beginning. So something new on the horizon. We're just not really sure when the horizon is. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there. Let me know if you're going to be picking this up, if you're super excited for it. I really love the art on the cover. I like all of the new models for the guard. And I do have an existing guard army. And no doubt some of these models are going to make their way in. I'm really excited to see some non-Cadians coming down the line as well. So I hope they do continue to expand the guard range. I've asked quite a few times what people's number one wants or hopes is, and I gotta say that Catechins is the number one. At least from the community, at least from people that responded, it looks like Catechins. So we know that Games Workshop can make amazing Catechin characters. We've seen a few of them now. The last 3 they made were all just absolutely stunning. Great sculpts, awesome. So all I really want to see is them just go ahead and roll that into a box. If they could just roll that into a box Not necessarily a starter army like this type box, but just an infantry squad. And with that infantry squad, then you can at least take those bits and convert the rest of your army. You can make tank commanders, you can make command squads, whatever you got to do with the bits. But the truth is, we gotta at least see just a basic troop infantry squad for Catechins. That, I think, is the number one request. After that, we got some pretty cool requests, some pretty cool ideas and everything. But the truth is, if we have the general new guard models, and then we have at least some infantry that we can do conversions with, I'm okay with that, because we can make what we want to happen, and that really stirs up the creativity pot. But without at least an updated kit, makes it very, very difficult to people to play the army theme look, whatever you want to call it, homeworld, etc. So really cool ideas. Definitely appreciate everybody responding. Always appreciate all the positivity. Cannot believe the channel growth and just how awesome the community is. Definitely appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't subscribed yet, definitely do. It really helps out the channel. It's absolutely free and the best way to show your support. And that being said, if you are into these daily reaction reviews and news, painting, modeling, conversion tutorials, make sure to check out the playlist for Warhammer 40,000, Kill Team Necromunda, Age of Sigmar, warcry, and some Horus Heresy as well. But as always, that's it for today's video, the official pricing, Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.